Wait a second, has it really been 8 seasons already? I don't know about you, but that's a lot of episodes. But I suppose the real question would be, what episodes do I consider the best? That's a bit hard to answer because there's a lot of good ones. But I gave it some thought, and after hours of writing and revising and crying, I've assembled what I consider to be the best episodes of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. But before I go ahead and show you the list, which has some expected and unexpected additions, here's a list of honorable mentions, and once that's done, sit back and enjoy.
Will you be lost by time or be part of history? Will your story be told or remain a mystery? Will they sing your song telling all that you have done? Time to make your choice, only you can be the one. Oh, as you join in the legend of Everfree. Hey! Oh, as you join in the legend of
Number 10. The Best Night Ever, Season 1, Episode 26. This episode is on my list for more sentimental reasons. The reasons being that this is the first ever episode I've ever seen of the show. At the time, all my friends were watching it, and I was kinda confused as to why, rudely dismissing it as just a show for little girls. Not that there was anything wrong with that, it just wouldn't be my cup of tea. But one day I had some free time, and it was coming on, so I decided to give it a go. To my surprise, I was smiling the entire way through. I found it colorful and charming and surprisingly very funny. And even though this is the last episode of the season, it was surprisingly a really good jumping off point for me. I learned about these characters and their motivations just through this episode alone, so when I decided to go back and watch the season from the beginning, it almost felt redundant to me. But that's more of a minor nitpick for me, since I thought season 1 was definitely very good. I enjoyed the music, the story, and even the humor. I was chuckling throughout, but really didn't get a good laugh until the end with Fluttershy's freakout. And it was during that moment that made me think that Fluttershy was going to be the best character of the show. Ah, how times have changed. But while it is perfectly fair to say that this isn't one of the best episodes of the show, heck, you could say that the episodes I put on my honorable mentions are better than this, and I wouldn't disagree with you. But being that this was the episode that turned around my initially dismissive attitude, I am happy to put this on the number 10 spot. Number 9.
I never claimed to be perfect. My mistakes are all written in ink.
FiM and Misfortune, Season 7, Episode 14. This is a very divisive episode, and I can understand why. It tackles something that not many shows tend to do, which is to directly address its more critical fan base. Some called it lazily done, some called it very petty, and some just called it mean-spirited. I even read that M.A. Larson, the credited writer of the episode, wasn't a big fan of the final product, as apparently this was a Season 5 script that was reformatted into a Season 7 episode. So why is this on the number 9 spot then? To be honest, even though I know exactly what this is, I loved it. I saw it less as a commentary and criticism of the Brony fanbase and more of a commentary and criticism on fanbases themselves, such as those that are only into collector's items rather than actually watching the show itself, those who prefer one character over another, and completely ignoring episodes that don't involve their favorite character, and people who completely ignore the point of the show entirely. This isn't exclusive to My Little Pony, believe me, and even though they directly address some of the criticisms the show has gotten over the years, to me, I didn't find it mean-spirited. In fact, I found it very funny, especially scenes such as Pinkie Pie being dismissed as the funny one, and Fluttershy's apparent character regression, and when she shows assertiveness, they don't know how to respond to it, and go back to complaining and criticizing. I've seen this kind of behavior in almost every show or movie series that I've seen, so when I saw the subject getting tackled here, I actually applaud the show for going in that direction. And I do find it kind of sad that the original creator is kind of throwing it under the bus. It presents an interesting message that criticism will always be there, and that no matter what you do or say, people will always find something to complain about. So instead of explaining or even defending yourself, just move on and continue to entertain the people that see the value in what you've been doing. It's a strange message, and I could see how it could rub people the wrong way, but to me, I found it appropriate, and I applaud the show for making an episode that's pretty much the creators just shrugging their shoulders and saying, oh well, could it have gone further? Sure. Could it have been more biting? Of course. But I think with what they had, I thought it worked, and that is why FiM and Misfortune takes the number 9 spot. Number 8. Apple Family Reunion, Season 3, Episode 9. And The Last Roundup, Season 2, Episode 14. When it came time to deciding the quintessential Applejack episode, these were the two that sprang to mind, as they both present a story in which Applejack's greatest strengths can become her greatest weaknesses, and both present a common internal conflict, Applejack's fear of disappointing her family. Both episodes take on this conflict in their own way, but both of them do it so well that I can't help but put these on equal ground. Apple Family Reunion works so well because it comes from the perspective of the Apple family. Last Roundup works so well because it comes from the perspective of her friends. Both episodes teach Applejack different things, but they all stem from the same internal conflict. In Apple Family Reunion, Applejack feels that in order to make the reunion more exciting, she needs to pack with activities. In the last roundup, Applejack loses a competition and instead of going back home, she decides to put herself in self-imposed exile, out of the idea that she let her family down. Both episodes feature different but equally good messages. That a get-together is only good when everybody's having fun, and that even if she win or lose, her family and friends will always be proud of her. I suppose on that note, the last roundup tells a better moral, but Apple Family Reunion has an awesome song, though the last roundup has better jokes. Apple Family Reunion has more of a focus on the actual family, though the last roundup also has...
Anything I can do to help?
Look, the point is that they're both great and they both take the number 8 spot. Number 7. Maud Pie, Season 4, Episode 18. The moment she came walking onto the screen, I knew that Maud Pie would become not only one of my favorite characters, but also one of my favorite episodes. Something about her calm demeanor, that deadpan voice, that droll sense of humor, it all just clicked for me. This is definitely one of those episodes where I wouldn't change a thing about it. Maud's challenging personality is a great source of conflict, and the attempts of Pinky's friends to bond with her is both funny and relatably awkward. Things such as Maud's pet rock boulder, the games she likes to play, and her tendency to take things too literally, such as,
What is the delightful frock you're wearing now saying?
It doesn't talk. It's a dress.
Made both this episode and this character awfully endearing. There's even a really great moment I didn't see before where it looked like Boulder eats a sandwich. I don't know if it was an animation error or if it was intentionally put in there, but I laugh every time I see it now. But the episode is not only really funny, but it also tells a very good story. It shows that even if you don't connect with someone on a personal level, their love for someone you know more than makes up for it. It shows that even though Pinky's friends don't connect with Maud in any sort of way, what ultimately brings them together is their love for Pinkie Pie. And this might seem weird to say, but I understood Maud's tone throughout this entire episode. I could tell that Maud was trying to make her sister happy, but it wasn't working. So when she initially left, I was genuinely sad. But of course we had our standard happy ending, and I was happy again. I understand that this episode isn't for everyone, and some people might find Maud boring, but everything about her clicked, and that is why Maud Pie takes the 7th spot.
I don't really like candy, but I do love Pinkie Pie.
Number 6.
No spoilers!
The Saddle Row Review, Season 6, Episode 9. Unlike Maud Pie, which was both funny and heartwarming, this one is just plain funny. The Saddle Row Review comes across like a tribute to mockumentary sitcoms like The Office and Parks and Recreation, with its candid interviews and frequent cutaways. This is the primary source of humor, and like my comments on the previous episode, everything about this works. The timing of both the visuals and the dialogue just gets a laugh out of me every time I watch this episode. And even if I see a joke coming from a mile away, the execution is just brilliant.
Only Twilight could make a dance remix about sweeping. I mean, how lame is that?
Yeah, it wasn't even catchy.
Nope.
Sweep, 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 sweep.
Nothing about this felt off to me, and when it came to the characters and the writing, everyone was on point here. Things such as Pinky imagining different versions of Rarity, Applejack trying not to break it to Plaid Stripes that all her ideas are terrible, and Rainbow Dash trying to find an employee for the store and not doing a very good job at it, are all great moments and are a testament to how strong the writing has gotten over the years. It's always fun to watch a show that usually tells morals or tells a strong story, just go for straight up comedy. And it's not like My Little Pony hasn't done straight up comedy episodes before, but it's become a bit of a rarity nowadays to see. Rarity. So what more can I say? This is a perfect episode and a perfect entry for the number 6 spot.
Making copies of yourself always sounds like a great idea, but before you know it, you're locked in a room with 50 Pinkie Pies watching paint dry.
Well, that was part 1 of my list of the 10 best My Little Pony episodes. What will be in the top 5? Stay tuned next week.